What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a story time for you guys about my first time doing shrooms. But before I dive into that, I'd like to mention a couple things. First off, check out Grindle in the description below for making this thumbnail and follow him on Twitter. I really do appreciate him helping me out. And second off, hope you guys enjoyed this drug story. I will be putting out some of these, a little more often, and if you guys have any drugs that you want to hear about, leave a comment in the comment section below, and if I've done it, I will tell the story. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. I guess you won't see the video, but if you guys want to know what drug stories I will be posting next, on Twitter, I typically do a poll with a couple different options, and I let you guys pick, and this was the most popular one, so let's dive right into it. So my first time doing shrooms. Now, this was quite a while ago. This was, I want to say it was maybe 2.5 months ago, two and a half, something around that. I know it was either in late February or early March, something like that. So I was with two of my buddies. We're going to call them, let's call them Andy and Chris. All right, so I was with Andy and Chris, and we were just hanging out this day. We smoked a little bit, and we didn't really have anything to do, but it was a really nice day out. Like, it was super nice outside, and when you're going to do a psychedelic drug, especially acid or shrooms, you want to make sure it's nice out. It's not a requirement, but it really does enhance the experience. So, it was a nice day out, and my friend had just re-upped on some shrooms, and he was like, hey, I got you on these. I got you on an eighth for 30, and I was like, bet. And an eighth is 3.5 grams, and, my buddy Andy gave them to me, and they taste like shit on their own. One thing with shrooms is you typically want to put them on something. In this case, I put them on a peanut butter sandwich with like no jelly. It was just peanut butter and what's it called, shrooms. So we went into the grocery store, and I grabbed 2 slices of bread out of a thing because I was like, well, I don't want to buy a whole thing of bread. So I just grabbed 2 slices, and I bought the peanut butter, and I just put the slices of bread in my coat. So I bought the peanut butter, and we left and went back to the car, and I didn't have a knife, so I kind of had to use my finger to like spread the peanut butter, on the bread, and it was just a giant mess. The bread was sticking to my fingers, and it was just fucked up. By the end of it, it was just a clusterfuck, and I put the whole eighth on the sandwich and started eating it, and shrooms taste like dirt. I mean, probably because they come from the ground, but they literally taste like dirt. It's just the texture, the taste, everything about them makes you just gag, and one of the side effects of shrooms is nausea. Not everyone gets it, but, I did get it, unfortunately. So, I ate them, and from what I remember, it took, I want to say, like 45 minutes to an hour to set in. And I remember this because we went to this one really nice spot. The sun was starting to set. It was around like 5:30 or 6, and it was starting to go down, but it was still light out, plenty light out for us to see. So there's this little spot with a really big hill, and you go over the hill, and it's just this huge field with nothing but just like really tall grass and like windmills. Like, it's the perfect place to sit and just smoke a blunt, and if you're off some sort of psychedelic drug, to just really take in the view. So I figured I wanted it to hit me while I was there because I thought it would be a really beautiful experience. So me, Andy, and Chris went there, smoked a couple blunts, chilled out for a little bit. We were all pretty fucked up. I was off shrooms. My buddy Andy was off, I don't remember. I think he dropped acid, and my buddy Chris was just high. He wasn't anything else. He was just stoned, so he wasn't really fucked up. He was our designated driver, but, me and Andy were just having a great time, and, the shrooms started to hit me as soon as I finished the blunts. I noticed everything kind of started moving, and it was more intense of a movement that I'd seen off acid. Off acid, typically the movement you're going to see is kind of subtle, but it was really apparent here. It was almost like everything was kind of wavy a little bit. It's hard to explain, and it just got more and more intense as I went. And at first I felt really good. I had this really intense feeling of euphoria and happiness, and I felt fucking great. And then we went back to my car, and I got in the back seat of the car, and that was one of the mistakes that I made. Getting in the car, I felt really enclosed and trapped, and I didn't like it, and it hit me really hard almost as soon as I got in the car. Like, it's almost like, when it first hit me, it was like I got poked by like a 100-pound linebacker, and then when I got in the car, like a 300-pound linebacker, Big Bertha looking ass, tackled me, just ransacked me, just fucked my shit up, fisted me in every hole possible. At this point, the houses were just wobbling. Like, literally, it looked like every house was made of jello. It was ridiculous, and I was tripping balls. I didn't even know how to comprehend it because it was nothing like I'd expected. I didn't expect it to be like this. My friends had warned me that shrooms can be a more intense experience than acid, but I'd done acid before and I loved it. So I figured I would like shrooms because they were in, the psychedelic category. And I thought, at least I thought I was a psychedelics guy. And it turned out I had a horrible trip. I had a shit ass trip off shrooms. I started feeling really cramped in, and I made my friends pull over as we were driving to a pizza place to get some food. I made them pull over, and I just got out of the car and stood in some random dude's lawn for like 10 minutes. And this dude came outside and looked at me, but I was like tripping too hard to care or even really realize it. His dog was barking. He was standing on his porch just staring at me, and I was literally like laying down on his lawn looking up. My friends were like, "Get your ass back in the car. This dude's probably going to call the cops." And I was like, "Just give me a minute. I'm not getting in the fucking car." And they were like, "Nick, we're about to beat your ass if you don't get in the car." And I was like, "Fuck you. I'm not getting in the fucking car." So, they stayed there. They waited for me. And, they're good friends, so they didn't beat my ass. They helped me out because they knew I wasn't feeling good. And I got out. And after I got out, I felt a little nauseous, but I didn't throw up, luckily. I coughed a little bit, and I felt like I was going to, but I just drank some water and tried to hold the feeling back, and I managed to. So I got back in the car, and everything was moving. I had to lay down on the seat and just close my eyes because when I looked out the window, it was overwhelming. Like, everything was moving too much. It's just nothing, like, there was nothing that was still. I couldn't focus on anything that was still. It was like I was in a giant fucking tilt-a-whirl or some shit. It was insane. And I just looked down and closed my eyes, and I closed my eyes and like I got lost in my own thoughts almost. Like I was thinking these things, and I was like visualizing my thoughts. It's really difficult to explain, but I was like thinking about my life and my relationships and my friends, and I was visualizing these things as I was thinking them. Like I was playing out these scenarios in my head with different people, and it was just crazy. It was so vibrant, and like everything was still kind of moving, but like it wasn't making me nauseous anymore. It was just like, because I knew it was in my head. It wasn't in real life. Like I wasn't, my eyes weren't even open. And, I opened my eyes, and we were at the pizza place all of a sudden. I don't know how long my eyes were closed. I don't know if I was blacked out or what, because I was just so focused on my own thoughts. Nothing else could distract me. And we got to the pizza place. My friends were like, "Here, we'll get you some food. This will make you feel better." So they got me a slice of pizza. They got this large pepperoni pizza from Little Caesars coming in clutch with the $5 pizza, the broke boy special. And I ate a slice. That shit was the most scrumptious thing I've ever eaten in my life. I swear to God, it was like my first time eating while I was stoned. Like, for some reason, this pizza tasted stellar, and the colors were so vibrant. Like, the pepperoni was bright red, the cheese was like a shining, gleaming yellow. It looked like the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I remember this part really well. I told my friend to go back in there and give compliments to the chef. And I was serious. I meant it. I wanted this guy to know that he made a great pizza. I thought this was a work of art. I was amazed. I was like, "This pizza's fucking great, dude. Go in there. Tell this guy he did a good fucking job." So, he didn't, because he knew that I was just tweaking and being stupid. And that really upset me. That really frustrated me. That sent me into a super bad mood. And I started telling my friends I wanted to go home, and they were like, "We're not taking you home like this. You're really fucked up. You're going to get in trouble." And, they just told me to breathe and relax, and they helped me out, got me some more water. I was having a horrible trip, and I realized it, but I kind of didn't at the same time. Now that I look back on it, I realize it was a shit trip. I was just sick the whole time in the back of a car. It was awful. But, I was sitting there, and we left this pizza place, and we went back to my buddy's house, and I was starting to relax a little bit because we've been in the car for ages. A couple hours has gone by at this point. And I sat on my friend's couch. We smoked another blunt, and I started to relax a little bit. The weed kind of calmed me down and brought me down to a level where, the most enjoyable part of the experience for me was coming down off of it, because I felt just the happiness and the euphoria without the really intense, nauseating movement. It was just I was still tripping, and things were clearly moving, but not so intensely that it made me sick. It was just it was a really relaxing experience, and I just got to sit there and enjoy myself, and I was really, really happy and bubbly all night, pretty much for the rest of the night until I went to sleep. And it was a really, really awesome experience towards the end and the beginning. It's just the middle part and where I peaked, I had a really, really bad time. So that is my story of my first time doing shrooms. After I sat down at my buddy's house, I spent the night and just kind of slept. I mean, I don't really remember much. I'm pretty sure I just blacked out because I was dead tired, because I'd just been dealing with all this nausea and all these crazy thoughts all night. I was dead tired, so I'm pretty sure I just blacked out. But either way, that is my story of my first time trying shrooms. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a comment below if you guys have any experiences with this drug or would like to hear me speak about any other drugs. And also check out Grindel in the description below and follow him on Twitter for making this thumbnail. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.